Hi, Miss Justice.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Haley, the dietitian. Have a seat, please. So, I understand that you were referred here because you just got diagnosed with celiac. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm a little anxious because I really don't want to give up the foods that I love.
I understand, and it can be scary at first, but there are a lot of products on the market that are gluten-free, so it really won't be that big of a change once you get used to it, okay? So, what I'd like to do first is go through your normal diet. So for the past 24 hours, will you be able to remember some of the stuff you ate?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay, great. So what is the first thing you eat when you wake up in the morning?
I usually have a bowl of Cheerios with some milk and some apple juice.
Okay, what kind of milk?
Whole milk.
And then what would be next for you?
Lunch, and usually I eat a PB&J with some pretzels and some cookies and a soda.
Okay. And what would be next?
Sometimes I get a snack like pretzels or popcorn or crackers and cheese.
Okay.
And then for dinner, I do a pasta with Alfredo sauce and chicken and broccoli with some water.
Great. Is there anything else you can think of that we missed?
I think that's all I eat in a day.
Okay, great. So just looking through your diet, there is a lot of gluten in it, which can cause your stomach to hurt because it's going to exacerbate your symptoms. Are you familiar with what a celiac diet is?
No, ma'am.
Okay, are you familiar with what celiac is?
No one really explained it to me.
Okay, great. Well, I can explain that for you. So celiac disease is when you have an intolerance to gluten, which is a protein in wheat, barley, and rye. Those are the three main ones. So what happens when you ingest that gluten is your body's going to see it as a foreign invader, and then it's going to attack, which is going to cause your intestines to become irritated. And that's going to lead to malabsorption and just an overall yucky feeling in your stomach. So that's probably why you were having all those problems.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to show you some examples of gluten-free products, and then we're going to go through your diet to see what we could substitute. Okay?
Okay.
So here is a pamphlet for you that I made. This goes over what you should avoid and then what would be acceptable alternatives, okay? So here what we want to avoid is wheat, barley, rye, and malt. Oats are actually okay. You just want to make sure they're not processed in a factory that would contain any of these, okay? So many factories that produce oats also produce wheat. So you just want to make sure there's no cross-contamination in your diet. Okay? And then here are some acceptable alternatives that would be gluten-free. So we have some common ones: corn, nuts, potatoes, quinoa, and rice, and soy. Do any of those sound good to you?
Yeah, I really like potatoes.
Good, that's great. Okay, do you have any questions so far?
Not yet.
Okay, so let's just go through your diet and then we'll see what substitutions we can make. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. So for breakfast, I see Cheerios, and that does have gluten in it. Would you be open to maybe Rice Krispies or Chex?
Oh yeah, I do like Chex.
Great. I'm going to write that down, and then I'll give you this as a goal later so we can go back over it. And then for lunch, you do have the PB&J with the bread. And the bread does have gluten in it, I'm sure. But there are acceptable products that don't have gluten in them. Okay? And there's actually a lot more than there used to be, which is great for you because you don't have to look as hard. So we would need to switch that bread out for a gluten-free bread. Does that sound good?
Okay.
And then for pretzels, how would you feel about a baked potato chip?
Okay, I can try that.
Because the potatoes are on your list of okay things, and they're also going to be more healthy because they're baked. And then we do have gluten-free cookies, but how open would you be to switching that out for a piece of fruit?
I could try a fruit. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll write that down. And if you want to go back to the cookies, that's fine. Everybody needs a little sweet now and then. Okay. For your dinner, I just see that pasta would be your gluten thing. And they do have gluten-free pastas. It is a little more expensive, but you'll see it's worth it when you stop having all the pain.
Oh yeah.
Okay? And then for your snacks, I saw popcorn, which is great. Popcorn is already gluten-free. And then I also saw the crackers and cheese. The cheese is okay, but the crackers we need to substitute. Would you be open to hummus or maybe corn chips?
Yeah, I could try it.
Okay. Have you ever had them before?
No, it'd be a good opportunity to try.
Okay. Well, if you don't like it, we're going to meet again next week, and you can just bring your concerns back, and we'll find different alternatives.
Okay.
Okay? So, do you have any questions so far?
How do I know if something's got gluten in it? What's the best way to figure that out?
The best way to figure that out is to read labels. Okay? So, what we're going to have on every package that you buy is going to be a food label. And here at the bottom is going to be the ingredients. And what you want to look for are any of those products that have the wheat, barley, rye, or malt in it. And here are some terms here that you might be looking for. A lot of products can have gluten. For example, did you know soy sauce has gluten in it?
No, I did not.
No. So here you want to look for these. And then if they don't have them in the ingredients box, you know you're safe. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, you can just bring them to me, email or phone, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any concerns? How are you feeling about this right now?
It's a lot, but I think it's definitely helpful.
Good. And, it will get easier. The biggest challenge right now is to getting used to shopping a different way and looking at labels and going to the gluten-free section first. How open would you be to doing a food diary?
If it's going to make me feel better, I'll definitely try.
Great. So here I have this food diary for you. And what this does is it helps you and it helps me, because you are going to track your food and then you're going to bring it back to me and I can see if you're eliminating all that gluten from your diet.
Yeah.
So that you feel as best as possible. So what you're going to do is you're going to write the food down here, and then you're going to write the amount, and then you're going to write how you prepare it. And the preparation is important because we don't want to cross-contaminate with things that would have gluten in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any more questions for me?
Not right now, but I'll definitely email you if I do.
Great. And bring this back next week when we meet and we can look over it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
It was so nice meeting
It
you.
was wonderful meeting you. You've been very helpful. Thank you so much.
Have a good day. I'll
You
walk
too.
you out.